Greetings, everyone, on the broadcast digital grid. Also, if you're listening to this on Subspace Radio Network, on Sci Fiction Radio, and iHeartRadio, this is episode 50, which will be airing this Thursday. I believe that's September 14th at 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 to 9 p.m. The other flip of the coin. Everybody's having a beautiful day. It's Owen Cotter. We have a great guest coming up on here a little bit shortly, here in just a little while. His name is Tommy Wetjen. I'll let you he'll tell everybody what he does. He's an amazing guy. He runs Gulf Coast's largest gaming store, a gathering of community of gamers and miniature games, all kind of games, card games. Let you tell you what he does on that. He's also head of an event that's going to be held in my hometown of Mobile, Alabama, on the Gulf Coast called Mobicon. So this is a new time frame they're doing in September. I think next year they'll have it at a different time, maybe in May again. I'll let him tell you about that. It's going to be amazing. Let's go a little bit over some news items here. We've got a whole bunch of news items going on the digital awesomeness. We have, well, that's a lot of news. I like probably 8 or 9 here. Let's go over these real quick. Starfield, Scrim, and Fallout opening ranking. The rankings of the openings of these video games. And, of course, you can't spoil the article. Go to the site at scifiction.com to read the rankings. But it's a pretty cool article. And then we've got, this is a cool one that we got from Dominic. One of our writers sent us this amazing piece on why are the Inquisitors such poor fighters in the universe. It's a great whole motif of beautiful, gorgeous article. We put a lot of cool pics in and everything. And then we got some other stuff coming up in here. We got Ahsoka episode 4 review. We'll have an episode 5 review probably this Wednesday or Thursday after the episode comes out on Disney+. We also have our episode 3, 2, and 1 review on the site at scifiction.com. This is pretty cool. During Star Trek Day, they debuted the first one of these. They're very short treks. They're little short, micro-animated, funny Star Trek little things that they've created. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They'll be coming out all the way up until October 4th. The first one came out on Star Trek Day. The next one comes out in 2 days. And then the 27th of September, the last one's on October the 4th. They're little short Star Trek animated segments to celebrate 50 years of the animated Star Trek goodness. And we got some other stuff here. What else we got? Let's see. Here it is. Episode 4, Star Trek short. Marvel renames WandaVision. This is a little bit of an older article about a few days ago, but we wanted to go over this spinoff and delays an Echo to 2024. Now, the Daredevil is going to, of course, be an Echo, and Vincent D'Onofrio will reprise his role as the Kingpin. I thought this was pretty cool. They're supposed to schedule for early 2020, will now debut around Christmas time. The What If Season 2. If you like the animated What If season, there's a new season for What If, the Marvel Studios. Of course, they're going to be doing X-Men 97. I believe it's going to have a lot of the original cast members from the original X-Men are going to debut their voices. We got to sit in on a panel a few years ago, back in 2019, was the first time those actors had been on a live panel in 20 years to do a live panel reading of the the show X-Men. So it was like a script that they read. It was totally cool, and they had everybody was there. Chris Potter was there. All the actors, the Val who did the Wolverine, everybody was there. So they got in. There was a couple of the fans filled some of the slots of the voices that they didn't have people for. But basically, it was like listening to an episode of the show. Once they got in the groove of it, I was like, wow, it was amazing. So we have that. It's actually on our YouTube channel at Sci Fiction Official. We're trying to get the numbers up on the YouTube channel. So if you go to our YouTube channel at Sci Fiction Official, follow it. We're going to be doing a whole bunch more video content. We just got video content from Comic-Con, video content from Star Trek, SGL V57 Year Mission is coming out. And then we got a lot of other stuff coming on. There's a lot of various things from Star Wars to Star Trek to Battlestar. There's a little bit of everything. It's anime, superheroes. But we got a lot of stuff. We got to talk in depth several times with Factory Entertainment. Factory Entertainment, for people who don't know, are the leading, in my opinion, leading prop building company. They do props from everything. Star Trek, a lot of goodies, Star Trek goodies. Models, full studio scale industrial light magic built model builder, models of starships, Enterprise. They even have an ET model. We got to talk to the creator of the ET model, Chris, super nice guy, and his wife. They've got this amazing ET spaceship from the 1982 film starring Drew Barrymore and all the goodies, and E.T. So they've got all that, and they've got props from everything like James Bond, Men in Black. These aren't just like little toys; these are like high-end prop replicas with working features and metal, heavy weight to the phasers and all stuff. It's got like the tricorder had an actual screen with animatics that would animate and do all kind of whiz bang, all kind of awesomeness. That was super cool. And they had like everything you can name it. They have Conan Master Universe swords, Wonder Woman swords, Thundera, the Eye of Thundera. It's crazy cool. So there's that, and then we got the other stuff we got at Comic Con. Not one of our sponsors, but it's a Diet Coke grape soda actually. But the coolest thing is that we got all that. We got a lot of stuff. We got the interview with Greg Grunberg on camera at the Star Trek event. Super nice guy. We've ran into him and been working on things on and off. Always running into him is always a pleasure. And see what else we got. What else we got? The interview with the guy that did the voice of the Borg from Star Trek, and he actually is a super cool guy. He's a musician as well. Awesome. See what else we got. I mean, just tons. We got. Oh, there's a guy we met. Super nice guy, and his wife are awesome people. Glenn Henderson, I believe his name is, and he is an author who has a super cool book. It's basically it's a copy I've got over here in my backpack. I have to get it, but basically it's a book about how Star Trek inspires people. Kind of inspirational book he's got. Highly recommend checking that out. I'll have to get the title and put it in there. But yeah, I'd love to have him on the radio show and on this broadcast sometime here in the near future to talk about his book and what he's got going on with that. And yeah, there's just tons of great, so many great people we interviewed down there. You got to get some on-camera content with. Got to talk to our friend Alan Ling. We just launched that interview on our Facebook page. He's got a whole bunch of goodies, and a whole bunch of new books, including one co-author with Sherman Augustus of Stranger Things, Westworld, you name it. He worked on this new book called Daughters of Django, and it's an amazing book. Daughters of Django is amazing. It's like a steampunk kind of sci-fi fantasy-esque with some historical references in the book. It's the Daughters of Django, and they basically go on looking for their dad, and it's a bunch of adventures and wild wild west goodness, and trains and shoot 'em ups and all kinds of stuff. It's awesome. It's really cool. So highly recommend going to his site at Gen7. That's 7comics.com. Let's see if I can get that site up right now. Also, Gen, there it is. We'll bring it on the screen for everybody. Well, that's not the right one. Hold on. We got the wrong site there. We got to get the right site. There it is. Let me bring this on for y'all here real quick. Y'all can see it. It is. There it is right there. This is Alan's site. He usually updates it when it's Comic Con. Gen 7 Comics. Now, if you go to his page, they've got a shop, and you can search. They have everything from teen mature to children's to adult books, but his new book's probably in adult books, and they've got several new ones. And I click that to enter the shop there. This is the new one, Daughters of Django, that was featured at Comic Con. He's got some other stuff he's working on too. This is the digital copy. The only way you can get the physical is, I believe, they may have it on here, but they have a digital copy. It's the digital issue, a PDF format. Physical ones, I believe, you can only get at Comic Con. But yeah, he's got digital issues of these, so he's going to digital comics. He's a digital comic. Alan's amazing. Genesis was a really cool book. It's kind of a sci-fi superhero thing. Cyberpunk. He's got Luna Goes to the Moon. Our buddy Jar worked on that. This is the one here. But yeah, highly recommend checking his site out at Gen 7. It's number 7 comics.com. But he's going to be doing a lot of stuff. He'll be probably at Comic Con next year or this coming year. We're working on getting a little bit better access. This year, of course, the writer's strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike is still going on. So we got to let that calm down. But either way, it was a blast at Comic Con. We had a blast. And then once that gets, they finally pay everybody and make it all right with everybody, which I hope they do. Because they need to pay these people. Everybody's hurting. I mean, everybody, I don't think it's just not just writers and actors. It's VFX artists. It's puppeteers. It's colorists. It's anybody even touches the film or entertainment industry is being hurt by this. And I read the actual due diligence on it from the SAG-AFTRA, and it's a lot of bad stuff. I mean, not from them, from the fact that these CEOs are wanting hundreds of millions of dollars, like Fran Gesture said. That's not my words. But yet they're not paying everybody. So pay them so we can live on, have a great time, having some fun watching. Because we're running out of TV shows, but noticing a lot of shows and a lot of movies too, I'm sure, are being postponed to next year or the next year. and that's going to not leave a lot of original content. I heard this. We do have an article about this on our site. If you just type in Tron, this Tron, Tron, it should bring up in the search parameter. Tron 3 was about to be begun filming, and they fired like 150 people off that set, and the director was pissed. So he was like, man, you need to pay everybody so we can move on with our filming. And another thing, I was kind of annoyed by that because I'm a huge fan of Tron. I always loved the original Tron and the new Legacy and the cartoon series Uprising and the games and all the stuff. And we'd love to have Bruce Boxleitner on this broadcast one of these days. That'd be pretty cool. I had to talk to him years ago, like a decade ago, and super nice guy. We didn't talk much about Tron. Mostly talked a little bit about how he was doing, and I did ask him a little bit about Babylon 5, and he said, "Man, those prolific speeches," and they were prolific speeches. But yeah, it was amazing. That was a sci-fi event out in Burbank. I don't know if they have that one anymore, but we're down there covering that. But yeah, basically awesome stuff. Just got to get this SAG strike over with, and we were talking to James about that a couple weeks ago or so about his thoughts on that. And he basically, for people that joined us, he broke down all the stuff about how it works with the finances, and if you have a family and you get all the stuff that goes along with that in the entertainment industry. But we're going to be bringing on Tommy here in just a little bit. I think he's heading back to the base of command center, to the Fortress of Solitude, aka Gamers and Geeks. So we're looking forward to talking with him. I do want to show some stuff here real quick before he joins us. This is his website, TommyWetjen.com. Let's go check it out. It's an awesome pic. I love it. Matches the color scheme: green, 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 and green. So he's got all kind of stuff here. He himself is an author. He's working on a book. I want to let him talk about that. He does a lot of stuff for giving back to the community. He has a foundation called Generous Geeks. He does a business consultant. He's made a lot of money on stuff over the years, doing stuff with gaming and as business consultant. He's also a mentor to the community, an author. Of course, we talk about an influencer. He's also known as the gaming entrepreneur because he's the sole proprietor of Gamers and Geeks on the Gulf Coast. It's the largest gaming store on the Gulf Coast. It's amazing. He's got it's huge, massive. So he's got all miniature games. What I really liked about his store, one of the coolest things he has going on now, I guess he still does it, is he does miniature and card game tournaments via live stream simulcast. But he's got cameras above the ceiling, so when they go live, they get different angles of everybody streaming, and then they pipe it into their YouTube channel and their Twitch, which is super cool. So I didn't think about that. It's like its own virtual tournament where you can watch them play miniatures of everything from Warhammer 40K to Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, whatever you want. Magic the Gathering's a big one. So yeah, anybody that would like to check that out, I highly recommend going to a store physically. He's got a huge shop in there as well with tons of games you can rent and buy and all kind of dice and everything you can imagine, video games. Also next door to that, on the right side when you walk in, there's a smaller section of the building which is dedicated to multiplayer online and multiplayer video games. Basically, it's Engage Gaming, and they have a little shop in there where you can buy games and also rent them in there. Play them for a small period of time, play for a couple hours. You bring them in a party room with your friends, play a bunch of games. They got snacks, they got all kind of stuff there. So check out Gamers and Geeks and Engage Gaming. So that's a good store as well. It's all in one big, massive complex. Most of it, 80% of it's Gamers and Geeks. In the back, I think, has an arcade. Well, I didn't tell you about it. He knows more of the details than me. But yeah, Mobicon's coming up. I want to show this. One of the things we're bringing him on about on the site, on the live stream rather, or in the broadcast on Sci Fiction Radio, is the event here we've got. So this is Mobicon is now this year. It's my hometown, Mobile, Alabama, on September 22nd through the 24th, I believe. And I'm going to show you this video real quick. That kind of explains
this September, Mobicon returns to the Gulf Coast, presented by Hungry Howie's, and it is better than ever. Featuring Adam Gibbs, Bryson Bogus, Chris Guerrero, Derek Snow, and more. Cosplay, panels, games, and events. It's all here September 22nd through 24th. Learn more and get your tickets now at gngcon.com.
So that is the awesomeness of Mobicon. It's a lot of fun. It's been around for a long time. Tommy came in and really ramped it up. He's going to ramp it up really big this year. They've come in and kind of redone a few things and made it bigger, better than ever. highly recommend going down. If you're on the Gulf Coast near Mobile, Alabama, or near Pensacola, just drive right over the bridge, about 45 minutes, an hour away, is in Biloxi too. And anywhere on the Gulf Coast within the hour or so's range, or anywhere you can get to Mobile, Alabama, highly recommend checking that event out. It's going to be taking place at the Renaissance Riverview Plaza Hotel in downtown near the port city of Mobile, Alabama. We'll be bringing Tommy on here shortly. Got a lot of good stuff. We kind of went over the bulk of the news items here on Sci Fiction Radio and Sci Fiction Broadcast live stream goodness. But basically, what we're trying to do is a next thing. Before we get Tommy on the board, we're looking for advertisers and sponsors for Sci Fiction. And we've got a lot of cool stuff we can offer. If you'd like to learn more about that, feel free to just message us on our Facebook at Sci Fiction COM. It's down there. Follow us on Sci Fiction COM, Sci Fiction COM, which we're also live streaming on this right now. So feel free to message us. If you're a company that does anything with sci-fi products, you have stuff like jewelry, or you deal lightsabers or ray gun, all kind of props, or you're doing T-shirts or whatever you got. We'll wear it. We'll showcase it. We'll review it. We'll promote it. We'll put banners everywhere. We'll share your post on Facebook. We'll basically do the whole. We'll do shout you on the radio, have you on the radio, do all any endless stuff. Even if you have an event, we'll come and cover it. Basically, it's included. That's a whole other separate deal, event coverage. But the advertising, mainly the sponsorships. If we can get us a good sponsor too, we're going to activate more sections of the site, and more goodies are coming. So be able to hire more writers and more bling. You get the gist. So there's that. We also may have another project on the board that we're kind of working on behind the scenes. Is a whole nother level of stuff, but it does pertain to science fiction. So there you go, sci fiction awesomes. But we will be bringing Tommy on here shortly. For people, if you want to ask him questions about Mobicon or his company, Gamers and Geeks, or anything about what he does in the community of giving back to, mentoring or everything, business consulting, anything you want to ask him, feel free to ask him here in the comments. We're going to have a chat system activating the chat window right now here on the side. I can bring your comments on here and showcase them and answer them. He'll be able to answer these comments as well. I think this might be him right now. Yes, indeed. Hold on just a second. Yes, indeed. We're talking to Tommy right now. But yeah, basically, we are just looking for people that want to help out, take it to the next level on the sci fiction gift. So feel free to message us on Facebook. Also, if you're joining us here on YouTube and would like to follow us, feel free to go to @SciFiction Official. We're also on Facebook at SciFiction.com, Twitter, and TikTok at SciFiction. SciFiction everywhere. Just type in SciFiction, you'll see it. We're about to bring on Tommy here. I think he landed at the headquarters. I believe that is him right there. We bring him on here. There he is.
What's up? Can you
Tommy,
hear me?
can you see me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I can.
Awesome.
Very good.
How
I
are
love
you
the
today?
backdrop's very vibrant.
Yeah, you like
Doing
that?
good. It's awesome.
Very
cool.
It makes my eyes look good.
How's your day been? We've been pumping you for the last 5 minutes. I was glad to have you join us, man.
Yeah, well, so I kept logging in. It kept saying cannot join. So I shot you a message, and it said you were live, and I closed it out and reopened it again, and then it just let me do it. So I guess I'm like, I'm not good at technology, I guess.
So yeah, we have to. We were going back and forth between screen. Might have just been a refresh thing. But
Yeah.
glad that you joined us today on the broadcast goodness. I was going to ask you. You've got a lot of stuff going on. You also got an event going on. What do you want to start with? To kind of introduce yourself, tell everybody what's going on in your world.
All right. So my name is Thomas Wetjen, and I own a lot of things in the realms of entertainment. It started off in September 20th of 2015. I purchased Gamers and Geeks. So we've had it for almost 8 years. As a matter of fact, our 8-year anniversary is going to pretty much start Mobicon. And since then, we went from a 5,500 square foot facility to a 26,500 square foot facility. So pretty big as far as game stores go. We can do card games, board games, dice games. We have a retro arcade in the back, miniatures, all kinds of stuff. From there, I purchased a wrestling company. I purchased Diamond Championship Wrestling a couple years ago. We are now on the Gulf Coast CW. We're on WKRG TV5 and WXVO in Mississippi. So we have our own show called Synergy. It's an hour-long show. We also do shows in Foley, Mobile, Mary Esther, Florida. We've ran in Mississippi. Looking at going back there pretty soon. Yeah. So we do a lot in that way, and of course that has bridged off a couple additional businesses. We have the Diamond Mine, which is a training facility. So a lot of the people that you'll see on TV are actually people that have come to us with little to no experience, and we've been training them up, which is really, really fun to watch, like them develop into their characters and stuff. And then I built a studio because we need to record stuff. So we started using that for other things, for like models. I actually have film companies that rent equipment from us and other people that like rent our studio to do podcasts and stuff out of. So that's been really fun. And then during the pandemic, actually a little bit before the pandemic, we did a pop-up con with
cool.
Mississippi Comic Expo. And that did well, and we did several of them throughout the pandemic. And this year we acquired Mobicon. So we've put a whole bunch of money and advertising and time and effort and energy, and Josh has been doing an amazing job coordinating a lot of the stuff and doing a bunch of the logistics. Woody as well. And so that's what I'm here to talk about today is Mobicon 2023.
Mobicon 2023. We got the site up here. Can you tell everybody what's some of the guests that are going to be at Mobicon?
So we're going to have Genesis Rodriguez. She was in Big Hero 6. She was in Umbrella Academy. We're going to have Harley Quinn Smith. That is obviously Kevin Smith's daughter. We're going to have Cooper Andrews. He's from Walking Dead and Shazam. We're going to have Randy Havens. He's from Stranger Things. He's like the teacher in Stranger Things. He was also in Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going to have Kevin. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his last name. Do you know? Kevin
Grubix.
Grubix? Okay, yeah.
Grubix?
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited to meet him because he helped create all the Underworlds, and he was also one of the main stars in there. And then we're going to have a ton of different anime voice actors and stuff. Derek Snow, Adam Gibbs. Adam Gibbs. Bryson Boggs. Oh, yeah. Chris Guerrero. We have Courtney Palm. She was the lady from Sushi Go, and she was in some horror movies.
Derek Snow's a big one. That's a huge one.
Yeah. And then Philo Barnhart. I always mark out over Philo because him and I are friends on Facebook. So I guess he randomly will log into Facebook and he'll like a handful of my posts. I'm just like, dude, how cool is this? What kind of world do I live in where, the guy who drew and created Ariel for Little Mermaid is just,
he did a lot of other stuff too. People animated this transporter sequence in Star Trek: The Motion Picture was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Philo's super, super cool.
So you got Mobicon. What are the dates on that?
September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th in Mobile at the Renaissance Hotel downtown.
Okay, the big one on the port.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. And what are some of the things you got going on down there at that event this year? You got a lot of stuff.
Oh my God. Panels. There's so much. I'm probably going to forget half the things, but I'll go through what I remember. So first off, there's going to be a free kids event that's going to be outside at Mardi Gras Park. It's going to have bouncy house. Is going to be an inflatable obstacle course. There's going to be face painting, a DJ, food trucks, supposed to be a live band out there. There's gonna be chalk for them to draw on the sidewalks and stuff. Inside the con, we're gonna have it's gonna be a burlesque show. We're gonna have $1,000 Smash Brother tournament. We're gonna have I think 5 different cosplay contests, if I'm not mistaken. Josh bought Yeah, because there's gonna be like one that's horror themed and like different
Right.
themed ones.
Oh,
Josh
okay. I got you.
Josh bought for the kids uh cosplay contest a trophy that is taller than me. It's 6 feet tall. So and just to give this kid this huge trophy that's bigger than them, so
Hilarious.
like we always got to keep it fun. So we're gonna have some cash prizes on the line. There's gonna be a burlesque show. Engage Gaming is gonna be there. They're gonna be running a Smash Brother tournament. I think the new Street Fighter tournament. They're gonna have virtual reality. There's gonna be a retro arcade there. There's going to be tons of gaming like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. Gulf Coast Hobby is going to be there. They're going to be running like Pokemon events and Magic events. So, if you're a gamer, like whether it's electronic or analog, it's going to be a place to go. Gulf Coast Gaming LLC will be there. They have this huge truck with, man, I don't even know, like
Everything.
5,000 board games or something like it's a ton. And they have a whole library from A to Z that you can walk up and check out games and go play and then bring them back and check out something else. So they're going to be there. There's going to be a ton of panels. Like I said, I know I'm probably missing stuff, but there's just literally so much. It's going to blow every other Mobicon out of there. Like it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, watching what you've guys been doing, it looks like y'all taken to a whole nother level.
Yep, that's the
And
goal.
what's the goal? That's the goal. But I'm saying, like next year, are you going to do it in September, same thing, or in May,
Yeah,
like they did
yeah. So,
before?
initially we were
We talked
thinking
about.
May, but just to try to do everything we were trying to do. So we had some really cool names we were talking to, uh, but couldn't quite get them to sign because of the stag strike going on.
Right. SAG after
So,
we're talking about
so yeah,
writer
so
strike too.
they kept pushing us off. They'd say, hey, wait for 2 weeks, wait for 2 weeks, wait for 2 weeks, and we just got to the point to where it's coming down the time, and we can't keep waiting. So we had to drop a couple of those names and then go after some other people, that we had been talking to. Um, so next year, expect it to be even bigger. You know what I mean? Because this is what we did through the stag strike at
Yeah,
the first year in 6 months time, right?
that's
So
crazy.
next year we're gonna do it in September as well, uh, and hopefully the strike is over by then.
Please be over strike.
Yeah, yeah, and then we'll be able to do a lot more things, and we'll actually have a couple reps under our bed. Of course, we've done the Gamers and Geeks conventions, but those have been smaller in comparison. We usually bring in like 3 to 5 actors. We usually have 40 like vendors and artists and stuff like that. Mobicon has like
Had some great guests. So watch the guests. Amazing guests you've had over there.
yeah, yeah. Mobicon has, I think, 80 vendors and artists. We have tons of sponsors. Like I said, we got the kids event that's going to be free downtown. We just have a ton of stuff that we're trying to do for the community to get everybody involved. I've spent tons of money on advertising, for TV and like Crunchyroll and YouTube and social
Oh
media
wow.
and stuff like that. So we had a street team. I was part of the street team. Went at Art Walk just this past Friday, was handing out flyers and stuff. Something I'll announce here. I haven't announced on Facebook yet, so we'll do some breaking here. Diamond Championship Wrestling is going to be running at the Temple on Friday and
All right.
Saturday. If you have Mobicon pass or your badge, bring it. You'll get in for free.
There you
And
go.
that will be and that will be a DCW Synergy TV taping. So you'll be able to get in for free for a TV taping and see all the stars of DCW. Everyone was asking why we didn't have any wrestlers. We had a handful of them on the hook. Unfortunately, AEW started a show on Saturday nights, and they had to contractually pull out. And I just want to bring somebody in just for one day, So I was like, we'll just give them all free entry into our DCW show. So that's what we're gonna
Can't
do.
beat that. That's awesome. Man. That's totally cool. So you got everything. You got gaming, wrestling. You got, just everything. Sci-fi
Kids, oh yeah.
panels. You're gonna have a pub crawl.
So we're looking at that. I got a couple people we were talking to about doing something small like that.
Cool. And the event is September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. You yourself have done a lot of stuff in gaming over the years,
Oh yeah.
being an influencer in the gaming ecosphere. Now you're taking on a much bigger event. You've done the smaller events in the future, even bigger, I'm sure. What? How did you get into gaming? What was the? How did you get to this level of gaming goodness?
Oh man, so I did car stereo for 10 years. I always liked the businesses that brought fun and joy to people, right? So they'd come in, they'd have a car, they just have a vision. They'd I want it to sound like this, or I want something to look like this. And my favorite part was always handing them back the keys and seeing their face light up. Then the market kind of went down, like when the market crashed, like what was it, like 2008, 2009,
Eight. Yeah.
and
Watched The Big Short the other night.
yeah. So car stereo kind of took a hit during that time, and I'd worked my way up just from an installer to partial owner of the business, because usually if I get into something, I go pretty hard. And so I contacted my buddy, and he had just opened a game store in town, and the name of the store was House of Cards. And he brought me in to manage that for him, and I went from House of Cards to Gulf Coast Hobby, who we're actually going to be teaming up with at Mobicon. So I still have a strong relationship with them. And I went to Gamers and Geeks and started working there. And the guy who owned the store at the time is now my business partner. He's actually involved with me with Mobicon as well. So we've been super great friends for the past, almost decade. So Elliot, or Woody, everyone calls him Woody. We're back together, teaming up, and we're gonna try to do it big.
This is gonna be amazing. I mean, like what you put together just in this time that there's like the strikes going on is absolutely amazing. I'd love to see what you're gonna do, even for progressing forward.
Yeah.
You got a book too you've been working on. Can you talk a little about that and what's
Yeah.
that
So
about? I'd like to have you back on that too.
yeah. So that should be. I would say out here soon. There was a couple little hiccups that I can't go into, but that should be out here soon. It's basically just my life story of how I started off and the hard times that I faced, and just the attitude that I used to try to get through all the hard stuff that I faced. And I wrote it. It was kind of therapeutic actually to write. There's a lot of personal stuff in there, but I did it to let other people know that, people just see me and they're like, oh, wow, this guy's larger than life, or X, Y, and Z. But in reality, I've been put through the ringer. And, I've been going to therapy for the past year and, learning more about that, and learning, like what my triggers are and stuff like that. And it's just a way to kind of help inspire people that may have had a hard time or a rough start in life, that, if you put your mind to something, you can do it.
Very true. Very true. You're doing it big, man. You got this event now. You've got all this stuff. I mean, it's amazing. So, what is the overall message of what you do, the gaming, what you try to deliver to everybody and the fans and everybody
I
else?
just love the community, man. Like I always, everyone used to always say, oh, Mobile's fun, but there's really nothing to do. I heard that a ton as a teenager growing up, and in my 20s and even early 30s. And I was like, I want to give back to the community, and I want to have fun things. Like one of the main reasons for Gamers and Geeks is to have a fun, safe, accepting place where people of all walks of life can come in and just, forget about their mortgage or their job, or, whatever problems that they're having in life, and just come escape and play a game for a couple hours, And, we don't charge for table space. We have wide selection of stuff that you can borrow. We have stuff for sale if you like it and want to take it home. It's just like that kind of store that, tries to bring the community together and just offer something fun, because life's hard. And I want to have a place that, lets people to be able to escape from that. And that's what Mobicon is, right? Like, it's just an extension of that. Like, you can come and cosplay and wear something. And, like, I know a lot of times I'll go into a big public place and I feel like, man, all these people are looking at me or something like that. My sunglasses on, try to feel a little bit better, but like, a lot of people who feel like that, like my son, for example, is high functioning autism, and he doesn't want to go to a convention or something because there's so much noise and there's so many people going on and stuff, but he'll do it in costume, because it's like he's not him. but he can still experience that. So,
Right.
that's such a cool aspect, to that, and to bring in all these artists and vendors and give the city of Mobile something that, they're proud of and they can go to and have fun in. Like that's the main goal. And it's the
That's
same for
awesome, man.
wrestling. The
That's
wrestling is
totally
just
cool.
the sports version of
Yeah,
entertainment. I'm just in the entertainment business, right?
for sure, for sure. And you've got the wrestling. Is there any upcoming things you're going to do in events with the wrestling after before Mobicon?
Before Mobicon, no, we just did an event for all the schools. They had a battle of the schools at Pathway Church, and we held a big battle royal there, and there was over 500 kids. And in the beginning, I'll tell you the story. In the beginning, the kids were like, the guy out there, hey, we're gonna have this tonight. We're gonna have these games. We're gonna have this. We're gonna have some wrestling. And who in here likes wrestling? And like maybe 15-20% of the kids were like, yeah, and it was kind of quiet. And I was like, And then by the time those guys got in there and they did their thing, Mac Daddy Duds pulled out a chair wrapped in barbed wire. And those kids went hype. Like it was like they were like they'd never seen it. And watching it on TV is fun, but when you see it live and like you see them get slammed and bounce off the ground, Gary, my friend Gary, I've known for a decade, Mr. Ice-T, is his persona. He's 6'7". He's a tall man, and he got on the top rope and did a moonsault on everybody in the ring. Yeah, Duds reached out, got out of the ring and grabbed the trash can and started beating up people with trash cans. I mean, it was insane, and those kids were hype. I mean, it was like WrestleMania, just a small version. It was so loud. Yeah, and like that's why we do this, and I literally just met with some of the people from Pathway, and they were like, it was great and stuff, and I'm gonna start to try to do some stuff with them because they do some really awesome programs. They were telling me about they'll do a thing where they bring in a whole bunch of hairdressers, and they'll have a ton of backpacks that they load up with school supplies, and kids can go there and get their haircut before school, and they'll give them backpacks with all the school supplies. So they're super about reaching out in the community, and obviously so am I. So we're going to pair it together and do some more stuff in the future for sure.
That sounds totally cool, man. And I gotta ask you, you're a big, huge comic book sci-fi geek yourself. What are a couple of the comics you've been reading or like or recent? Any TV shows or anything you're watching now?
Man, honestly, I am either a poser or I just work too much. But the past 9 months, I saw the new Spideyverse. Yeah, I took my son. He wanted to see it. Took him and saw it in theaters. But I haven't watched any new shows.
There's a lot of them.
I mean, there's a ton of stuff out there. Like you would think, oh man, he watches a ton of wrestling, which I used to. But I wake up at 7-8 o'clock in the morning, and I walk in the house between 8 and 10 o'clock at night, done from my day, and I'm deciding if am I more hungry or tired? Like, do I want to cook something at this time, or do I just want to go to bed and say forget it? So that's been my life like the last 9 months. I talked to my therapist the other day, and I said, I got to start making some more time for me. Like after Mobicon, I'm gonna carve out a couple hours for myself. I said, how I can be able to tell is when my houseplants are dying. If my houseplants are dying, I'm not home enough, and I'm deciding whether or not I want to eat or not. Then that's probably a little extreme, right? So yeah, we were making a joke about it, but yeah, it's just been really busy leading up to Mobicon. We've been trying to do a lot of things, so I really haven't gotten into that much stuff lately. I can't think of, like I said, other than the Spideyverse movie, I can't think of anything that I've watched or read or anything. Like not even that much wrestling. Like sometimes if I get home early, like I just moved. So if I get home early, I may put it on the TV.
Oh, you moved. That's a reason right there.
Oh yeah, and I did it by myself, and I lived in that previous house for like 8 to 9 years. So this thing living there, 8 to 9 years, and that's just a lot of stuff to go through. So I just got that done. Then having to do some stuff with my old place, and man, it is. I've just been busy, but but I'll put something on the background, and then I'll just maybe unpack a box, or I'll organize something, or do dishes. You still got to do adult stuff too, right? Like, no one ever talks about that. They're just like, I'm a rock star, but no, man, I got to do dishes, and I got to cook, and I meal prep sometimes. If I do cook, I have celiac, so I can't just throw some ramen in the microwave. Like, I'm allergic to flour, which is in lots of things, so I typically have to cook a lot of meals or meal prep. So
Very, very cool. I want to ask you, what are some of the websites that you have for Mobicon and Gamers and Geeks and yourself? What are the web links you
that is a good question. I'm going to use my cheat sheet. I think it's
got?
mobicon2023.com, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have gamersandgeeks.com. You can obviously check us out on Facebook as well, Mobicon, Mobile's Comic Con, and Gamers and Geeks on Facebook as well.
Awesome. Well, Tommy, I want to thank you so much for coming on board on the sci-fiction goodness.
Hold on one
Check
second.
out
I
Mobicon,
gotta give
everybody.
One promo.
Go ahead.
If you're
Go
in
ahead.
town, come to Gamers and Geeks and buy your Mobicon tickets from Gamers and Geeks, not the website, and tell them Tommy sent you. Because one, you will be entered in to win. We got a poster that's going to be 6 feet tall, with all the celebrities. So basically, similar to this, like all the celebrities. And I'm going to go around and try to get everyone to sign it. And if you bought that in the store, it's a G&G exclusive. You have a chance to win that. So you're going to have really good odds to win that. On top of it, if you tell them Tommy sent you, me and JD have a bet going on as to who's the best salesperson, and I get a point. And at the end of the con at Mobicon, either JD or myself is getting pied. So we have a little challenge going on. So say Tommy sent you if you want JD to get pied, and I guess say JD sent you if you want me to get pied. But you don't want that. I don't want to get pied.
Tommy sent you. Tommy, man, pleasure having you on the show, man. I want to bring you back to talk about your book sometime
Awesome.
soon as
Thank you
well.
so much.